Okay, so we're going to be starting off with the Maybelline Master Contour Stick. This is a duo stick. It has a highlighting and a contouring side. I'll be starting with contouring, with highlighting, as you can see, sorry. Now, when you're doing your highlighter, you always want to go one shade lighter to the most. You don't want to go too light. As you can see, this one is actually almost my skin tone. They gave me the wrong shade at the store. So I am going to go over it with my Primark Nudes Duo highlighting stick. And this, for me, I find is the perfect shade for me. When you bring your highlighting, remember, just like contouring also structures your face, highlighting also does the exact same thing. As you can see, I'm bringing my highlighting down, and that's to elongate my face. And because I have a very round face, you can see I'm making like a sort of a triangular shape and keeping it very thinner on the outer parts of the triangular shape, but the triangular shape is pointing more towards my nose. And then it's coming down to elongate my face, and I'm just gonna go, like you can see, I'm making a very thin line there, because also I don't want too much of length, like I don't want to widen my face, so I don't want to like pull all the contour that way. So I'm also going in with my Wet n Wild foundation, just because this is a very cream. I mean, it's a stick, it's a cream, it's not a liquid contour. I just want to kind of put this over just so that I get a nice blend. You can totally skip this part, or you can just use a liquid. If you're going to use a liquid, I suggest when you're blending, you start blending out with your nose area. But with me, because this is a cream, it dries quickly, I'm going to start with my chin, and I'm going to quickly do my eyes. I'm going to be using a sponge to blend this out, and make sure that when you're blending, you're still keeping the structure of your face. Remember, we want our face to be elongated, so that is why I put, like I said, I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on with me today. It is midnight, you guys. So as you can see, I'm still kind of keeping this shape, even though I'm blending everything out very nicely. You want to make sure you still keep that shade. Even if you can see my forehead right over there, I didn't take the product all the way to the end of my forehead, because then my forehead will be really wide, and I don't want to widen my forehead, so I'm just keeping it in the center there. And then I'm taking the sponge and I'm blending it out further, just so that we don't have any harsh lines in our face. And the whole purpose of lighting, guys, is to bring light back into our face, and also it does add structure to the face. So just keep that in mind when you're doing your highlighting. A lot of people just plastered it on without thinking, okay, this is going to actually add structure to my face, because it does add structure to your face. And you want to make sure you powder up your under eye area immediately, and I'm going in with the Essence Banana Brighten powder, and I'm just blending it out just to make sure there's no creases before I go in with the powder, because if you put powder over the creased areas, if there's still foundation in those creases, damn, you're gonna crack and you're gonna look all creasy. So you want to make sure that it's blended out and that you add powder immediately, so that you don't crease throughout the day. And because it's winter time, you guys, I'm not really going to bake. I'm just going to powder my face. But in the summertime, I will do like a foolproof, sweat-proof makeup where we will be able to bake. But because it's winter, guys, I find that baking is too dry. The product, you don't really need much baking on your face, because it's winter, there's no humidity, and your foundation is going to last longer. As you can see, I'm going over the rest of the highlighted parts of my face. Only the areas that are highlighted, I'm going to set with this brightening powder from Essence. Just go right ahead, and remember to make tapping motions. You don't want to kind of drag, and you don't want to kind of pull with your brush, because you don't want to remove any product. You don't want to disturb or, interfere with the product that's underneath the foundation. So just make sure you're just tapping, going over my nose, my forehead, and just setting those areas in as well. And once a time, guys, like I really don't need to set my face that much. I don't bake. Okay, so now I'm going in with the other side of the stick. This is the contouring side of the stick. Remember, now we're adding structure to our face. We're going to chisel out our face with contouring. That's the whole purpose of contouring, you guys. So I'm going to be starting with my nose area. And guys, something really weird happened while I was recording this. I didn't realize, but as I was editing, I realized that you're gonna see what just happened, and it was making a real strange noise. Like, just watch this. Like, how on earth did this happen? Oh my god. And the entire footage of me doing my contour was this, with this weird noise, and the sound was, oh my gosh, it was actually quite scary. But this is the areas that you want to contour. The dark areas are the areas you want to contour, and the light areas are the areas where you want to highlight. And depending on the shape of your face and how you want to structure your face, these are just kind of guidelines on how you want to contour and highlight. Okay, so now I'm just going to blend that in. Again, I'm just doing tapping motions. I'm not going to be pulling as I'm blending that in. Blending is so important, you guys. Like, I cannot emphasize that enough. You just have to really blend. And no, it's like tiring, but you just have to do it. I find that the shade that they gave me makes me look kind of muddy. And although I like the formula for contouring, I find that the stick for highlighting, as you can see, it's very sheer, so I don't use it for highlighting. But just to add more definition and more grip to whatever product I use, I do use it. But yeah, so I'm just taking the leftover product and I went over my chin. I used some of that contouring under my chin because I don't like putting it too much under my chin area. And yeah, and just be careful when blending out your nose that you don't go overboard, and take it up towards your eyebrows as well. I always use a sponge to go over and blend everything. That is just how I get mine done. As you can see, we're blending out those harsh lines because we don't really want any harsh lines. And then you guys, like, I made the biggest mistake of using this powder. Like, I'm not even gonna say which powder this is because I do not want you guys to use this product. I don't even know what's the name of it. I can't pronounce the name. Guys, it was so horrible. But generally what I do is I take my bronzer, especially if I'm doing a liquid contour, I take my bronzer and I use that just to kind of set my contour areas. But I'm going just I'm also doing contouring I'm powdering the contouring parts. Now what am I doing now? Sorry. No, I'm actually going in with a brightening powder, and I'm kind of doing like a reverse contour on my nose. I'm just going to bake that for a few seconds. Just because I want my nose to be more snatched and I don't want to bake the rest of my face. So you're just going to kind of bake those your nose area only, like the top on the sides of your nose, kind of like reverse contouring. Now I'm actually going in with this bronzer that I was telling you about, and I'm going to be setting the liquid contour or the cream contour. Guys, I've never seen, look how dark my face became. I've never seen a powder, this powder is so light. I've never seen a powder that looks light and it comes on dark. It like literally oxidizes, and it was so hard for me to blend. Like, look at that, it was so hard for me to blend that out, you guys. This was like the biggest mistake. But I thought, you know what, let me continue, we'll just figure it out, we'll work it out. And I'm also just going to kind of go in between where I did the contour on my nose. I'm just going to go over that very carefully because I don't want, and without having to ruin the baked parts. And then we're just going to bake that. I'm saying bake. We're just going to fluff that away. Guys, what is wrong with me? We're just going to dust all of that away and blend in. I don't like making my nose area too thin, but if you prefer making it very thin, that is your preference. But for me, it just looks so unnatural. So I prefer making it this way, and I like it to be more blended. So yeah, I'm just trying to blend that in again, you guys. Can you see like how I had a rough time? This powder, I've never witnessed such a powder. Again, just going with your sponge and just blend everything out. This powder was like a nightmare. It was a total complete nightmare. But you guys can totally skip the liquid contour, and you can just do powder contouring. Sometimes I just bronze my face in the contouring areas, or you can go in with the powder as well, a darker powder to contour. You don't have to do liquid. And I'm just setting my face with the LA Girl Close Setting Fixing Spray. Yeah, this is a matte setting spray, you guys. I probably should have used a dewy one, but while I'm waiting for that to dry, guys, I got a notification on my phone of a wellness video, and I decided to watch that in the meantime. Do you guys do that like guys? Okay, so let's go to highlighting and giving ourselves a glow. Obviously you just want to glow the high point of your cheekbones, a little bit of your forehead, not much. I do a little bit of my chin and my lip as well, but I'm just doing my cheekbones right now. I'm just gonna add some glow to our face. It is winter, so we want to look very glowy. Summertime, guys, I would not add this much glow because I do not want to look like I'm oily and I'm dirty. sweat. But okay, yeah, so we're just going to be highlighting the highest points of our cheekbones, and be very gentle again with your brush when doing this. Yeah, I'm going to do a little bit on my chin as well, my nose, like kind of like an exclamation mark. I don't like bringing it all the way down like one long line because it just kind of looks crazy. And then I'm going to wet my brush just to intensify that highlighter, and I dipped it back into the highlighter, and you're going to see how it just pops even more. Like, oh my goodness, it just intensified that glow so much more. And again, just blend everything out. You could actually use your sponge to apply your highlighter as well. Yeah, I do it both ways, but I just did it this way today, and I'm just going to kind of blend in with my sponge so that everything just sinks to my skin and looks, well, you know, kind of natural. The makeup is not natural, but it just looks like, you know, nicely blended and doesn't look like you have a mask on your face. Just look at that highlight, y'all. Woo! That is what the water on the brush did, or the fixing spray. And now I'm just going to go in with a little bit of blush. I don't normally like using blush, but I am going to go in with this one from the NYX But Naked Cheek or something like that. And I'm just going to put a little bit. This is also very shimmery, it's very subtle. So if I do use a blush, that's the one that I use because it's very subtle, and it's also going to add more glow to your face, a very nice subtle glow, and it's just going to help blend everything together nicely. Again, guys, just be very gentle. I'm telling you, hold your brush, your fingertips towards the end of the brush, so that to make sure that you're very light-handed and your makeup will be flawless, guys. If you're going to have a hard hand, your makeup unfortunately is going to look patchy, and it's going to crack, it's not going to look good. So blending is very important. I always just take the leftover products over my forehead as well. That's the highlighter that I'm actually putting on my lips. I don't know why I did this step now after my blush. I forgot to do it, so I just thought, okay, let me add it in. And there we go, guys. Your highlighting, contouring, and your glowiness is done. It's done. And damn, that highlighter is just giving me life. And that's about it, you guys. Until tomorrow's video. Bye-bye.